That's beautiful.
Real danger. And it's played
Damn.
into the centre.
Boom!
Holy crap!
I thought that might have been too far, but that's
Dude, it's
perfect.
about to chest it.
Doesn't come out.
Kicked it off
I
his
thought the
belly
defender was
button.
gonna get it. The one that
Yeah,
he was running to.
dude, look.
That guy
Ooh. He's like, I'm not getting racked.
didn't even budge. Just took it like a
I don't
champ.
even know. What was that? Oh!
Boom!
Damn!
Beckham! Oh. Slides. Yep.
Dude, we're on
Yo, let me
top
just
of this.
try another through ball. Just go. Just get it.
Inside the last quarter.
Holy crap! This is insane!
What a dong!
Yo, what the hell?
Beckham. Back, baby.
Was that with my left foot too? I couldn't tell. Oh, they're out. Hey everyone, this is Lesky here, back with another FIFA 21 Pro Clubs player build for you guys today. And in this video, as requested in the comments by a viewer, we are going to be going over a CAM David Beckham build. So that's a central attacking mid Beckham build. As you guys can see on the athletic page, we are listed as 6 foot, 165 pounds, which is on Footbin and on FIFA. He's listed as 6 foot. So we are pretty much right on point with that height and weight of David Beckham. As you guys can see, looking at the attributes, we have pretty crazy technical abilities. With that 93 long passing and that 94 short passing is absolutely insane. Definitely the best build I have used this year in pro clubs for passing and playmaking, I would have to say for sure. And also look at that 90 vision, absolutely crazy. So we'll talk about more about passing once we get to the skill tree. But as you guys can see, just make sure you are 6 foot, 165 pounds, and you're good to go. So now let's move on to the skill tree. All right, guys, so over here on my build screen, you can see all the builds that I have been working on and using. The next one that's going to be coming out after this David Beckham build is another Englishman by the name of Wayne Rooney, which I'm not going to go any further on that. Just stay tuned in the future for that build, and then all the rest of these will be coming out as well. So stay tuned for those also. So now moving on to this Beckham build, as you guys can see, we are, again, a CAM, 6 foot, 165 pounds, and right-footed. So let's move on to the skill tree. First, we're going to start with physical. For this right side, we went all the way down to the second wind like I do in every single build. CAMs already have really good stamina, but I would still say second wind is necessary if you are controlling your player the whole game. If you are an innie, I would definitely suggest not even using the second wind since you already have crazy stamina. Even if you had lower stamina, I would still suggest not using second wind since you're not going to be controlling your player nearly as much as if you were just using your player by himself. So the stamina is just not going to be drained as much. Your stamina will be completely fine towards the end of the game if you're playing any. So don't worry about that. Just take off the second wind and add those extra 3 skill points to anything else you would like. On this left side, we have strength because on all of David Beckham's cards, he pretty much has terrible jumping and average strength around 75 strength. So we went with the 74 strength. The good thing is when you go to this third strength, it gives you +2 strength for 1 skill point. So that's what I went for. And comparing to Beckham's 89 rated icon card on Ultimate Team, because this David Beckham build is also 89 rated, so it's a pretty good comparison. He has 75 strength and 72 jumping, so we have 1 less strength and better jumping, so it's actually pretty close and pretty much the closest we can get because as a CAM, that's the base jumping stats anyways, so might as well have better jumping. And then we went all the way down to that strength, like I said. So now moving on to defending, I decided not to put anything on defending since this is a CAM build, and on mostly all of Beckham's cards, he has like high 60s in defending, or like if he is in the 70s, it's like very low 70s, like 70, 71. And the CAMs also, like base stats have decent defending. It's obviously not great, but like it has 70 interceptions, 69 defensive awareness, 64 stand tackling, and 61 slide tackling. So it's pretty close to what Beckham has on his icon cards anyways. So moving on to dribbling now. This is one of the few builds where I don't have 5-star skills. But since Beckham has only 3-star skills, 3-star weak foot on FIFA, we decided to just go with 4-star skills. If y'all want to be ultra realistic and go for the 3-star skills, go for it. But I just think that's going to be very hard to use without any skills, because at least 4-star skills, you can at least use like the croqueta and some of the meta skill moves, but with 3-star skills, you can't really, there's not much you can do. You're kind of limited. So I would definitely suggest using 4-star skills on pretty much at least 4-star skills on pretty much every single build you use. On this left side, we went with the full agility and balance increase. I know Beckham doesn't have like crazy agility or balance, but I believe these are like the two most important stats in FIFA, other than pace possibly. I think agility and balance are very good for making your player actually feel good when on the ball. And on top of that, with the ball control and dribbling as well, obviously. I just think dribbling in general in FIFA is very important, one of the most important stats. On all of his cards, it looks like he has better balance than agility, so that's kind of what we have. It's just better. It's just way better than what he has on his cards. We have 90 balance and 84 agility. When I saw that 90 balance number, I was actually quite amazed. Since this is a 6-foot build, he's actually pretty tall and 165 pounds. The balance is really freaking good. So it was really surprising. And there's just the left stick dribbling, not doing any skill moves with this build is very solid because of that 90 balance. So now we're going to go to this right side of dribbling. And as you guys can see, we did not go for the flare trait like I do in most of my builds because I'm a huge fan of the flare trait. But since he only has 3-star, 3-star, and we just wanted this balance and agility upgrades, we decided not to go for the flare trait. And to get the flare trait, you have to get the 5-star skills, or at least this 4-star skill on the right side. And I guess we could have took this off, but there's just not enough skill points for that, as you guys can see. So basically, we went for this middle one right here, ball control focus, and then we went for the left one. That gives you 89 ball control and 88 dribbling. I guess you could go for this one to get your dribbling up more. Well, in all of Beckham's builds, he has more ball control than dribbling, so that's what I went for. That's going to be it for dribbling, guys. And now we're going to move on to passing, which is the focal point of this build. The passing is absolutely insane. The best I've ever used in FIFA 21 for pro clubs, and maybe just in FIFA in general. I wouldn't say that because there's in Ultimate Team, you can have some cards with 99 passing. It's kind of crazy. But for pro clubs, for sure. And you can have this swerve pass, which I'm actually a huge fan of. I don't really know if there's a specific way you can trigger the swerve pass. I think it just happens naturally. But basically what it does, as you can see, it adds bend to your passes and through balls where needed. So it adds a little bit of curve or curl to your passes, and it almost like curls to the player running onto the ball. It like curls basically around the defender and then curls to the player that you want it to. So it's very good for trying to get those through balls in between the lines and past the defender's legs. I would highly suggest it and give it a try. You'll notice it on a lot of your passes. And again, I don't know how, if there's some way to trigger it. I don't think there is. If there is a way, please let me know in the comments, but I really don't think there is. But when you're using this build, don't be shy with just hitting long balls or long through balls to your fast strikers, because this build, out of any build that you'll ever use, has the ability to make those passes and complete those passes with that high vision, 90 vision. And once I get that vision up even more, it'll go up to 91 once I play more games. Y'all's stats might not be as high as me because I play a lot of pro clubs games, so just keep that in mind. 87 crossing. Beckham is really good at crossing in real life. That's pretty much the highest we could have got it unless we wanted to get this crossing advanced focus. I don't think it's too worth it, so we decided not to do that. But look at that 96 curve. That's absolutely an insane stat to me. And I think that curve will also help with the swerve pass. And as we're about to move on to shooting, we have the finesse shot trait on Beckham. So the finesse shots with his high long shots for the cam build and that high curve, the finesses will be crazy if y'all give it a try. He has crazy long passing and crazy short passing. As you guys know, Beckham was insane at hitting those long passes and pinging across the field onto his teammate's foot. And I think every single one of his builds, as I'm looking at the cards, he has more long passing than short passing. We tried to go for that, but it's literally not possible. Like, even if we went for this passing focus to bump the passing up even more, The short passing would still be better, but it's not that big of a deal. Might as well have really high short passing also. So this is the passing side of this build. As you can see, I'm pretty sure majority of the skill points went to this passing category. 24 skill points, so a decent amount. And again, like I said, got to try those passes with this build, because this is basically what makes this build shine, is the passing ability, and it'll benefit your fast strikers because you're just able to complete those long balls to them, and you can just send them one-on-one against the goalie, and you'll just be having assists for days, hat trick of assists in a lot of your games, unless your teammates choke your passes, obviously. But hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully you have some clinical finishers on your team. So that's going to be it for the passing side of things. Let's move on to shooting. Over here on the shooting page, guys, as you guys can see, we have all the way down to the finesse shot. And like I said earlier, Beckham only has 3-star, 3-star. So since we already went for the 4-star skills, I decided to not go for the 4-star weak foot, which is one of the few builds that I don't have at least a 4-star weak foot. I didn't notice too big of a deal with it. Obviously, you're going to want to try and get the ball on your right foot when you're shooting and even passing, because it does affect your passes as well. Increase how good your passes and shots are on your weak foot. But since you already have like crazy passing, I made some insane passes with my left foot, and they were perfect. And so it's not that big of a deal, but if you can, try and make those passes and your shots on your right foot. But since you have that crazy passing ability, it won't affect it too much. So we went all the way down to the finesse shots. All you need to do, looking at the stats, you have 89 finishing, very good finishing base stats on a cam, 84 free kick accuracy, which is actually something Beckham was known for in his career, is his free kicks, which is something we weren't able to really bump up. You could if you really wanted to. If you have some extra skill points and take some of this stuff off, you can give it a try if you're good at free kicks and you want to bump that up. I just decided not to. I really just don't think it's worth it for the skill points, because free kicks are pretty rare. Like, you might get like 2 or 3 free kicks a game, if that. So you're just not going to be able to utilize the skill points as much as you would like. But again, look at that shot power and those long shots. With the finesse shot trait and the 96 curve, your finesse shots from outside the box will be amazing. I didn't try it too much. I didn't get much of a chance. Usually when I'm on the top of the box, I see one of my teammates running into space in between the defenders, and I just kind of like do a double tap A or Y or through ball into them, and I'd rather just secure the goal rather than take a long shot. But there's like one clip in particular where I just banged it with my laces, like basically right inside the 18-yard box, I believe, and it hit the bottom of the crossbar and went in, and the shot power just looked crazy on the build. Even though it's like only 83, it's nothing too insane, but I guess for pro clubs, that's actually above average for the most part. So definitely give those long shots a try, since you have 92 long shots, and like I said, that high curve, the finesse, and then all that good stuff. So definitely give long shots a try, and I didn't really find a problem with the finishing in this build. Most of the chances I had, I finished them. So now moving on to the last section, which is pace, which is one thing that might not be too realistic compared to Beckham's other cards. He wasn't the paciest player, and I believe even on his prime moments card, like his highest rated card on Ultimate Team, it is 84 pace. So 81 acceleration and 86 sprint speed. We went with 84 acceleration, 87 sprint speed. If you don't mind the extra pace increase, or like the extra pace decrease, I would say, you could possibly take this one off and go for 84 acceleration, 85 sprint speed. But I decided to go with the high sprint speed, since on this card I'm looking at, like I said, it has 81 acceleration, 86 sprint speed. So that's a 5 stat difference between the acceleration and sprint speed. And we have 84 acceleration, 87 sprint speed. So we have more sprint speed than acceleration. So it's kind of on point with that. It's just we have more pace, since pace basically is the meta in FIFA in pretty much every game mode you play. But since you are a cam and are going to be the ones doing the doing the playmaking and assisting, pace really isn't that big of a deal. I wouldn't suggest running in behind too much unless you have like a wide open opportunity. Go for it. But just tell your strikers, your pacey strikers, to run in behind. And then with that crazy passing ability, you'll definitely be able to find them and send them one-on-one against the goalkeeper. So keep that in mind. Definitely use that passing on this build, because that's when you'll find the most success from this build, is while using that passing. So that's going to wrap up this build video, guys. I hope y'all like it. Please give it a try and let me know in the comments what y'all think of it. Again, stay tuned for all the builds that I'm going to have in the future. And also, if you haven't hit that like button on this video, I'd greatly appreciate that. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, I would also appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button for me. Thank you guys for watching, and y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out.